Hey, how you doing? This is Danland Pro, 100 videos in 100 days. Today we got something special for episode 81. We're going to show you, not only have we already shown you in one of our tutorials how to make that cinematic look that you see here, we showing you how to make a nested background as far as the cityscape that you see playing behind me. So I show you how to take an adjustment layer, how to take the clips of the 5 cities that we use, put those together, scale them to fit, and then extend them to where you can have them nested to extend the length of the presentation that you're trying to make. So we pretty much go over that in our YouTube tutorial. So hey, go check it out. Danland Pro, 100 videos in 100 days, youtube.com, Webmaster Dan. Make sure you hit that subscribe and that like button. Till then, peace. Check out the tutorial. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to show you is how we make a background in Premiere Pro. And it's pretty simple. So what I'm gonna do is import my files. So I'm gonna go get different cities. So I'm gonna do 5 cities. I'm gonna do Chicago, I'm gonna do Indianapolis, I'm gonna do Detroit, I'm gonna do Atlanta, and I'm gonna do Wisconsin. And we're in LA. So I'm gonna do 6 cities. So I'm gonna bring all 6 of those cities into Premiere Pro. And then I'm gonna put them on my timeline. Now, what I wanna do is with each city, so you see these is in a different format than I want them to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna select all 6, and then I'm gonna right click, and you see where it says scale to frame size. That's all I gotta do. So now they're the frame size I want. Now, what we're gonna do now is play our timeline. Let's put that, mute that music. So I ain't ready for the music yet. So we're gonna see how these transition. So I'm just gonna scroll to speed up the process. So in between the cities, I want them to kind of fade. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the right side where it says effects, click on that. If you don't see that, go up here to Windows, and you will see in this list, your effects will be right there. So if you don't see it up there, click that and it'll show a check mark and your effects will come up. Now, I'm going to go into video transitions, dissolve. So you got your cross dissolve, dip to black, all of the basic transitions that you'll normally use. So we're gonna take that selection off, and I'm gonna grab this cross dissolve because I want each clip to transition into the next. And don't worry about that little signal that I'm getting. Just hit OK and keep doing what you're doing, because it'll do that when you have some that you brought on the timeline together, because you pretty much running those things. See, insufficient media, this transition will contain repeated frames. So it pretty much identifying with that fact. It's kind of like an overlap there, but you don't have to do the overlap, but it's just letting you know that that'll be repeated frames. So you'll see when I put this on the end, it's not the same as when I put it on the end. Now, watch what I do so you can see. So we're not going to put that transition on the end yet. I'm going to show you that once we start our transitions, so let me see how that's going to transition between these 2 particular clips. And then that goes city to city, because these are going to be my backdrops. So now that I like what I see, I'm going to lower my timeline so I can pretty much see it. So this is, say, 3 minutes long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this 6 minutes long. So I'm gonna copy that. So you hit Command C. Now I got that copy. Now make sure this you're on this particular line. Come to the end of that clip, and then I'm gonna hit Command V. You see that? And I can repeat that. So we got 9 minutes instead of 6 minutes. I'm gonna make it 9 minutes in case I want to cut it short. You see that gap there, where that gap is? See, so when you see a gap because you missed the end too close, you just hit ripple delete. That's gonna close that gap. Now I'm gonna put a transition there, which we're gonna get that same message, and then we're gonna go over here and find where we missed another gap, because it's another gap in here somewhere, and when I expand that timeline, we'll be able to see it. So maybe it closed it up, all because it came at the end of the other clip, so we don't have to worry about it there. Now what I'm gonna do, because I want to keep these three right here, which are my titles, and we really didn't go over that, we just going over how to do the cities, because I want this as a backdrop. So what I'm gonna do now is select all of these, and then I'm gonna right click them, because I want them to be one clip. You see where it say nest? I'm gonna hit nest, and then I hit OK. Now that's one smooth clip. Now I can export this clip out, which I'm gonna do. Keep the music muted, keep my titles muted, and then we're gonna export this out. So we export this out as media. I'm gonna say, okay. And now I'm gonna name that city backdrop. And I'm gonna save it in my step-in video file. So city backdrop, save, and then we're gonna hit export. So we're really not going over all your settings, etc., etc. We more or less showing you how to take a background clip, extend that clip, make sure it's the right resolution, and then we want you to nest that clip so it can be the length of whatever your use for that clip is going to be. Now, I try to keep a lot of my clips down to 5 or 6 minutes, especially for social media or a tutorial or something I may be discussing. But in this case, it's going to be longer because I'm going to use that backdrop in one of my conversations as well as this tutorial. So I want to be able to have enough footage for however I want to do that. But this is how you make a backdrop. So we're not going to stay here for the length of time for this to render. We're going to pick it up after it renders. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So now we got our backdrop. So what we do is we take that backdrop into another program and make our video. So you're going to be able to see me making that video. As far as this tutorial, you'll see the backdrop of these 5 cities in the background of that tutorial. Okay, that's pretty much it. Hey, I'm Danland Pro, 100 videos in 100 days. Glad you enjoyed that tutorial, and I hope you got something out of it. The reason we share these tutorials with you so you can see how we do some things, how we make some things, and get things to work properly. Anything that you imagine can be done if you have the right tools and the right skill set to do them. I just like sharing with people so we can learn different things. Like I say, today's video was about extending the length of a clip, nesting that clip together to extend it for whatever you want, and understanding how adjustment layers work as far as creating different effects. Hey, I did a tutorial on cinematic effect. It's real basic and simple, so you can see how we got this effect. I also used 5 of the cities that I think I want to use as far as Los Angeles, Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, and Indianapolis because of those meaningful cities to me as far as my earlier experience in video production. Those cities was meaningful in some of the content I was able to capture, and I'm gonna go over that later in one of my sock op stories. Hey, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, episode 81, 100 videos in 100 days. I'm Danland Pro, Webmaster Dan, YouTube.com. Hit that subscribe and like button. Peace.